Hey, this is Ben, and like the intro said, it is about damn time that we got to the Martinson. This is a year overdue on its update for a lot of different reasons, so let's dig in.
Okay, so here we're taking a look at the neck on its way down. The nut was recut to get the slot heights correct. Um, the bridge was pretty well centered despite my initial misgivings of it. You can see the pickups there are in, they're resin potted in versus hot glued as before. Here we see the back. I had to move that strap button to solve a little bit of neck dive issue, but otherwise the neck didn't really require very much. Those are those hip shot tuners. Now we go down the neck and you can't see it super clearly, but the fretwork is really nice now. Darren did a lot of work in leveling and crowning and just everything on the frets. They're all over the place. Um, the neck pocket is not perfect. You'll see a little bit of that in a second, but for the most part, it's all cleaned up really nicely. This gives you a better view of the pickups, the stacked pots, the hip shot style bridge. Just everything came together really clean on this section. Here's the 1 millimeter thick shim that was required to make the neck work. Otherwise, we would have had to completely reroute the thing. And then in here, we see the OBP3 preamp professionally installed by Darren. I got it roughly installed, but it wasn't great. This is a lot nicer bit of work. It still looks kind of a mess in there, but that's just the nature of active preamps nowadays.
Okay, so here's going to be the overview of what's in this instrument electronic-wise. So we've got Delano pickups in here, and I don't remember the specifics, but thankfully I've got the boxes right here. So for the bridge pickup, we've got a Delano JC6HE/M2 right here. It's more of a jazzy style kind of pup. And then in the neck position, we have the MC6HE/M2. This is a humbucker that's in the style of like a Stingray style pickup. It's super wide. It was hard to find when I was first going through all of this. And then we've got volume, push and pull. For passive, we've got a passive mode, active. I have it completely flat right now on the active, so that's a pretty good representation of what you get. You can kind of hear there's not really a difference between the two. We've got blend between these pickups. We have mid-range, we have the treble, and we have the bass. And we've got this fun little switch here for the humbucker, which we'll talk about in a second. First things first, here's what the just flat sound of the bass sounds like. Now if I roll onto the neck pickup, here's what it sounds like, at least in the center switch position. Now, the switch that we have here, it is set currently to front coil, both coils, rear coil. What you just heard was the both coils going. Here's the front coil, same idea, isolated. A little bit of more scooped tone, almost P bass-ish. If I go to the rear coil, I end up with a little bit more of a jazzy kind of neck pickup sound. If I roll all the way back into the bridge pup, we end up with so with any amount of EQing you could do, maybe a little bit of a chorus effect, you can find that Jocko tone if you need. And then the one thing I will say about the humbucker is, especially in with both coils running at the same time, that humbucker really does take over in terms of presence between the two pickups. I mean, you can still blend in the bridge pickup, but this is going to be the dominant one. And for this bass, it's kind of a cool thing. Like I like how it sounds in that regard. A lot of the solo-y kind of stuff I do, I tend to like to just use a neck pickup anyway. And you get more of this kind of lush sound out of that. Versus if you get the bridge soloed out, you get kind of a thin nasally, and even with it centered, it's a bit better balanced, but still got a little bit of that nasal to it. So I end up playing with the neck pickup isolated almost all the time anyway. Um, so yeah, we've got mid, treble, bass. They do all the same stuff you're used to. You can get pretty much any sound out of this that you want. I mean, if you want a good just slap tone, it's right there. But if you want something super duper mellow, they could just do a walking bass line. That's also very much possible with this particular bass. And you can get pretty much anything in between. I mean, if you need a good old classic rock sound, you need a good old Motown sound, you need something that's modern. This bass more or less will do it, which is a really good testament to the pickups as well as that Aguilar preamp, which does a pretty nice job. Though I've got some reservations with that I'll talk about here in a couple of minutes. The only thing that, it's got a little bit of a buzz to it, but nothing that's crazy. Otherwise, it's a solid all-around instrument that you can do just about anything with, which is a far cry from where it was when I first got it, when the neck pickup was the only thing that worked. The bridge pickup shorted in and out. If you selected the bridge pickup, all it would do was hum. And that's the price of using $60 worth of parts instead of, I'm not willing to admit exactly how much the pickups and the preamp cost for this thing, but it's pretty damn close to what I paid for it. So this has a lot of money tied up into it to make it sound as good as it does, but the result is quite nice. The neck action on this thing is really good. As I said in the voiceover earlier, the fretwork, pretty much every fret was touched, reset, crowned, polished, all that good jazz. Nut was recut, so it's got a pretty nice low action. Do some tapping stuff. It's all right there. There's nothing preventing me from doing that. So it's a pretty versatile bass. Well, here we are. 3 years since I started the project, 1 year since the last update you guys got, but it's done. It's built, it's functional, it's a good sounding bass, it's a pretty good feeling bass. If you remember, I initially planned to build this as an instrument that I could leave at my school, my day job as a band and orchestra teacher. So I could leave this at school without a guilty conscience. The advantage to teaching with a 6-string bass a lot of the time, both in band and orchestra, is that I can play pretty much any instrument's range on this. I can play down to tuba or below. I can play flute at least up through late middle school level, and then I can just do octave down stuff for everybody else. And it's a lot easier to just have one instrument that I can, demonstrate what a line sounds like than necessarily picking up and putting down every single instrument. Um, Plus, one-handed conducting or one-handed playing and conducting, and it makes it a little bit more functional. And I didn't want to keep dragging my Scholds there because, well, they're expensive and I didn't want anything to happen to them. What I've found though in the last year is that this bass is a great bass. I don't know if it's a great bass for me. I've taken it out on some shows. I've taught with it for most of the school year, and there's something about it that doesn't quite hit it right for me. Honestly, maybe I'm just not an Aguilar guy. I've had one bass in the past that had OBP3 preamp in it, and I had a lot of issues out of it, but I kind of figured it was just the bass, the way it was installed. You know, I kind of figured maybe this time it would be a little bit on the different side. I have another bass here that I just got recently that's got an OBP3 in it, and I love that one. But for some reason, the vibe here just isn't quite there. This bass does have a really good voice. I heard it when I first played it with the old Chinesium electronics in it, but it's not something that necessarily fits for what I do, I think. So I'm not sure what the future of this one is. I mean, stay tuned. It could remain in my collection for a while. It could end up on Reverb. Maybe one of you guys has got a better use for it than me, because Lord knows I do have plenty of instruments around. It's not a bad instrument by any stretch, and I got to give Darren an extra special thank you for the setup. I mean, the neck plays so wonderfully. It's adjustable. The fretwork is absolutely impeccable. He did some filling in on the top as well, for preventative maintenance kind of stuff. The thing is ready to rock and roll. I just have too many other instruments that feel a little better to me for most live types of things. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. Leave something in the comments. Tell me what to do. If you're really desperate, make me an offer. You never know. So that wraps the Martinson project, and yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking through this. I know it's been a long time coming, but this is the Martinson 6-string, fully done. Thanks, guys.
I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight.